Happy Pride! That is gonna stick. Or not. Bisexual drama is today's genre, and it's a genre because I say so. June is Pride Month, and this is Pride Week, leading up to the anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising. So this week I'm doing some mini-rants to celebrate Pride. For more on that, just click here. I discuss it a little more in detail as to why and what I'm doing. Now, as I say in my normal opening, I am a proud bisexual man. Not gay, not straight, not pansexual. I am bisexual. And if you don't know, this is the bisexual pride flag. Now, that means different things to different people, and no one but me has the right to define my sexuality or what it means. Just like my understanding of Gnosticism may vary from another person who is also Gnostic. It remains just as valid. But if you want to understand what being bisexual is to me, these are two extremely influential films for me personally. I watched both of them pretty early in my own sexual awakening, and watching them again, it's a reminder of how much I've grown. So as a reminder to you, I will be looking at the following elements: pre-production, production, post-production, continuity, music, acting, nudity, LGBT representation of the lead cast, and LGBT representation of the key crew. Kaboom is... I don't even know if it's a drama exactly. It's like a supernatural, dramatic, psychological thrillamedy. Our lead bi guy here is Smith, played to perfection by Thomas Deckard, who is just so my type. He has dreams which may or may not be prophetic, and he lusts after his insanely hot roommate Thor, and several other dudes, including Thor's friend Rex and a guy on the beach named Hunter. Guys named Hunter are, like, always hot. It's the law. But also starts a sexual relationship with a girl named London. He also has a lesbian bestie, Stella, and the three of them are intrigued when Smith is stalked by a bunch of guys in animal masks. Smith also meets an adoragay named Oliver. Then his 19th birthday starts out pretty bad, but then gets, oh so good, when London helps him with a sexual conquest that he could only have dreamed of until now. Then he goes to a concert with Agnes, who is trying to escape her literal witch of an ex-girlfriend. Seriously, they don't get coy with the fact that she has supernatural powers. And he finds a girl alive that he previously thought had been murdered in a sort of acid trip. Maybe acid? I don't know. They don't really fully explain that, and makes a dinner date with Oliver. All in all, a good birthday. But we then find that his 19th birthday was special. He might be special. And then... I can't spoil it. All I can say is that there is a reason that this movie is called Kaboom. So, pre-production. Yes, there was pre-pro. This movie clearly didn't have a big budget, but it had some money, and apparently it was inspired by a conversation between the director and John Waters, which is probably why I love it. Production. Yes, this is an experienced and respected indie director who knows what he's doing. Production looked amazing. A lot of really great cinematography, awesome, like, single shots that keep the character in the center frame even when it seems conventional. Post-production. Again, great work. No complaints. Some fantastic, fast-paced split-screen editing. Given the deleted scenes, there was also some very good ideas to cut some stuff. A lot of people think deleted scenes will somehow make the film better, but just as often, if not more so, scenes are cut because they don't make the film better. Hashtag Snyder Cut. Mark my words. Continuity. I mean, I'd have to nitpick an independent film to death, and I don't need to. There was nothing distracting. Music. There was music. It was good. I honestly forgot to pay attention to the music. Acting. Oh my God, did I mention how good Deckard is? So there's a scene towards the end where his mom is kidnapped. Also, I love the fact that his mother is just as much of a slut as he is. And he's telling London on the phone, and the way he says kidnapped is just, I can't believe I'm saying this. This doesn't happen in the real world. But, you know, possession, murder, mystery, these are all perfectly reasonable things to happen in day-to-day life. Some actors, including Stella a few minutes later, say kidnapped in movies so nonchalant because it happens in the script, so it must be normal. But Deckard, oh my god, I love him. Nudity. Yum. Smith gets naked like it's literally the first frame of the movie. Extremely wide full frontal. Thor gets naked. Extremely brief full frontal. And all the girls get topless. LGBT representation in the lead cast. So, Thomas Deckard made this movie at a time when he himself was undeclared, as the character says it. He had had relationships with women, but was open to the idea of being with men. Today, he is married to actor Jesse Haddock and identifies as gay while acknowledging the fluidity of his sexuality. I fucking love him. LGBT representation in the key crew. Much like Deckard, writer and director Greg Akari identifies as gay currently, while acknowledging his own fluid sexuality. Now, as an out-bi man in a relationship with a man, I would love it if both writer and star would acknowledge bisexuality as valid, but it's not up to me to dictate their sexuality any more than it is anyone else's to dictate mine. I also kind of like the fact that he's using gay as a stepping stone of sexuality. All too often, ahem, Eugene, gay people use bisexuality as a stepping stone to their own sexuality. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked if I'm still bi. So this is a nice little reverse on that. I honestly love this film to death. All of the films of my top 10 favorite, maybe that should be a rant, are animated. But if I had my top 10 favorite live-action films, this would definitely be in there. I love it. The performances are so visceral. You feel Smith's heartbreak, his joy, his fear, and his uncomfortableness. If you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. And the way it all wraps up, oh my gods, I just can't. Moving on to grande ecole. Grande ecole. I am going to butcher every French word and every French name. Every single one. This is such an intriguing movie. It is based on a play of the same name that translates to The Best of Schools and is the story of Paul, a young man entering into an elite business college, rooming with his friend Bernard, or Choquette in the credits. I'm sticking with Bernard to prevent further butchering. And has a beautiful girlfriend named Agnes. Also, so my type. In the dorms, he has a third roommate, Louis Arnauld? Louis, who has a girlfriend named Emmeline. Louis is on the water polo team, and Paul, who is very much in love with Agnes, starts finding himself having feelings for Louis, and later for a Muslim painter, Monsieur? Seeing the attraction to Louis, Agnes proposes a game. If she seduces Louis, he has to give up on the idea of ever being with a man. If Paul seduces Louis, then he has to give up on her. It really is a no-win game for anyone. Polyamory, just saying. And after this, he immediately acts on his feelings for Monsieur. Also, so very much my type. And they kind of fall in love too. Paul's feelings for Agnes haven't changed, but her feelings for him have. So she finds herself falling for Louis. Oh, and Bernard exists too, I guess. I have seen this movie several times, and I always turn it off before the end. There's a point where it's unclear as to what he's going to do after Paul and Louis run into Monsieur and talk about getting coffee. There's a confrontation, actually two, And then Paul walks away from Messire, who professes his, no spoiler, it's obvious from the word go, love for him. And I always just turn it off there because I don't want to see what happens. I want it to be open-ended, but I figured for this review rant thing, I should finally watch the end, and wow. I can't believe I didn't just trust the artists. Wow. So my elements. Pre-production. This movie was in planning for 4 years before finally emerging as an independent film in 2004. The director had time to polish off the script, but it doesn't come off as overly done. Production. Plenty of rehearsing, the actors all have their roles down, and the director knows what he's doing. Post-production. Nothing stands out as bad, so it was good. I really chose these elements to pick apart bad movies, and I'm not looking at bad movies today. Continuity. Okay, so Paul is not a natural blonde. The director wanted each of the guys to have a different hair color. I've done that as a director. So he wanted Paul to be blonde and Bernard to be redhead. Bernard is hot. And he let Louis keep his natural brown. But Paul's hair color is wildly inconsistent in terms of brightness. It's painfully obvious what days on set were freshly dyed. There's a few minor inconsistencies, but that hair... Low budget. What are you gonna do? Music. Great score, no shitty songs. Acting. The guy that plays Paul... It's bad enough I butcher the characters' names, I'm not gonna do that to the actors. Has a background in theater, and it's obvious, but not in a bad way. He seems to be genuinely excited to have the opportunity to create a character with complexities and subtleties that he can emote without having to call to the rafters. This wasn't his first on-film role, but it was his first lead in a film. He seems nervous, but that might just be the character. He might just be that good of an actor. Nudity. All the leads except the redhead Bernard get some kind of naked. Paul and Louis both have full frontal during showers, and Messire has a full frontal after a sex scene with Paul. Also, as was used in publicity, there is a locker room shower scene that has the most insane locker room shower ever. There are dozens of shower heads in varying rooms and a ton of background. Plus Louis shows everything in a very long shower scene. It's hot. LGBT representation in the lead cast. It's hard to say. Paul is the lead, and the actor appears to be straight, talking about his fiancée in the bonus features, but I'm with a guy. That doesn't make me homosexual. LGBT representation in the key crew. Also hard to say. I mean, the writer of the original play and the co-writer of the screenplay, Jean-Marie Basset, is openly gay, but the other co-writer / director of this film, Robert Salas, is very private about his life. And, that's fine too. Even if he's straight, it would be like a great representation, a nice combination. Honestly, these are two of my favorite live-action films ever made. They helped me to define myself in a time when I didn't really know who I was and was on a path of discovery. In their own way, they helped me develop pride, and they allowed me to come out to myself and to others, and I am grateful. Hey, have you heard of Craig A. Butler? He's this awesome guy who is my very first Patreon. You want to be my second and also be called a cool person? Cool. Just click in the link below, and also if you could hit other buttons on YouTube while you're at it. There's subscribe, and there's share, and there's like, and there's the notification bell. So if you could just push all those buttons, all of them, unless you're already subscribed, they don't even cost you a thing. So yeah, happy Pride!